TFAP and CSFP civil rights training requirements. Civil rights and household food distribution. Any program that receives federal funding must comply with civil rights laws, regulations, instructions, and guidance. The Emergency Food Assistance Program, TFAP, and the Commodity Supplemental Food Program, CSFP, are federally funded programs. Civil rights guidance for USDA Foods Program can be found in FNS 113. Civil rights and protected classes. Civil rights are non-political rights that apply to everyone and are based on traits of identifiable class categories. Discrimination based on these traits is prohibited by law. The civil rights protected classes are race, color, national origin, sex, disability, and age. Forms of discrimination. Discrimination is the unfair treatment of a person or group of persons based on their protected class. Discrimination may be intentional or unintentional and falls into one of three categories. Disparate treatment happens when discrimination occurs so that any of the protected classes is intentionally denied service. An obvious example would be refusing service to one nationality but serving all others. Disparate impact happens when an action unintentionally creates negative results for a protected class. A good example would be asking immigrants to wait until the end of food distribution for an interpreter to be available, but in the meantime, the site runs out of food. Reprisal or retaliation happens when intentional negative treatment occurs to anyone of a protected class in response to previous civil rights activity. For example, someone makes a complaint and they are refused service at the next food distribution. Goals of civil rights. Agencies are responsible to ensure that all applicants and participants receive equal and consistent treatment. Provide knowledge of civil rights and responsibilities to program participants. Eliminate illegal barriers that prevent or deter people from receiving benefits. Promote dignity and respect for everyone. Training expectations. Recipient agencies are responsible for annual training of volunteers and staff who interact directly with program participants. Agency staff that do not interact with program participants may also receive training if desired. Agencies are required to document training and maintain the documentation for 3 years plus the current year. A faith-based organization is defined as a group of individuals united based on religious or spiritual beliefs. The most common type of faith-based organization is a church. A local agency cannot prohibit a faith-based organization from being a distribution location simply because it is affiliated with a religion. When a faith-based organization is a distribution site, it must keep food distribution independent of its faith-related activities. That is, they cannot make a requirement for anyone to participate in their rites, prayers, or receive literature in order to receive food. The building does not need to remove any religious art, icons, scriptures, or other religious symbols. The location must post or have readily available information regarding the closest secular distribution site. The Michigan Department of Education can provide your agency with a template for the Notice of Beneficiary Rights to be posted in faith-based locations. Identification is required for CSFP. This is an application-based program. Identification is presented during the certification stage. Local agencies can choose either to accept personal ID or an agency-created ID, such as a green card at distributions. No identification is necessary for TFAP. All TFAP information is self-declared, including name and address. At no time during the certification or distribution of either CSFP or TFAP should legal status or citizenship be questioned of an applicant or participant. Collection and use of data. All collected program participant information must be kept secure and confidential. CSFP regulations require annual reporting of participants' racial and ethnic data. Participants are asked to self-declare racial and ethnic data. This can be done during their certification to become a program participant. If a participant refuses to provide data, they are to be advised that the information will be collected based on observation. Agency staff identify and document racial and ethnic background to the best of their ability. The agency is to maintain all records for 3 years plus the current year. Public notification. All agencies are required to distribute public notifications of their program to potentially eligible persons. Special efforts should be made to reach underserved groups who may qualify for services using appropriate media. Notifications should include a list of locations, hours of distribution, and agency contact information. Agencies should provide information in different formats and languages to best meet the needs of the local community. All materials must contain the USDA Non-Discrimination Statement. It is helpful to convey the message of equal opportunity through photos and graphics. Non-Discrimination Statement. The USDA Non-Discrimination Statement must be included on all materials that mention USDA food programs. Font size for the long version must be at least the same font size as the rest of the publication and must be readable. USDA Non-Discrimination Statement Long Version. In accordance with federal civil rights law and U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, civil rights regulations and policies, the USDA, its agencies, offices, and employees, and institutions participating in or administering USDA programs are prohibited from discriminating based on race, color, national origin, sex, disability, age, or reprisal or retaliation for prior civil rights activity in any program or activity conducted or funded by USDA. Persons with disabilities who require alternative means of communication for program information, such as Braille, large print, audio tape, American Sign Language, etc., should contact the agency, state or local, where they applied for benefits. Individuals who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have speech disabilities may contact USDA through the Federal Relay Service at 800-877-8339. Additionally, program information may be made available in languages other than English. To file a program complaint of discrimination, complete the USDA Program Discrimination Complaint Form, AD 3027, found online at www.ascr.usda.gov/complaint-filing-cost.html and at any USDA office, or write a letter addressed to USDA and provide in the letter all of the information requested in the form. To request a copy of the complaint form, call 866-632-9992. Submit your completed form or letter to USDA by one of the following: Mail, U.S. Department of Agriculture Office of the Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights, 1400 Independence Avenue Southwest, Washington, D.C. 20250-9410. By fax, 202-690-7442. Email, program.intake@usda.gov. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. USDA Non-Discrimination Statement, Short Version. This institution is an equal opportunity provider. The short version may be used where the longer statement does not fit and must be in a font size no smaller than the font size used in the rest of the publication. The short version may not be used in place of the long statement on clients' rights documents, especially when a signature is collected to certify or declare information. And Justice for All poster. Prominently display the poster where participants can easily see it during certification and distribution. This poster serves as a trademark indicating the site provides a USDA program without discrimination. The poster must be the most recent green one and the correct size of 11 inches by 18 inches. Agencies may request posters from MDE. Complaints. Everyone has the right to file a discrimination complaint. All staff and volunteers need to know what to do if someone wishes to file a complaint. Complaints may be based on any of the protected classes, race, color, national origin, age, sex, and disability. Complaints may be written or verbal. Provide forms for written complaints and take detailed notes if verbal. Never discourage anyone from filing a complaint or voicing concerns of discrimination. Civil rights complaints may be sent to the USDA at Regional Director, Civil Rights, EEO, USDA Food and Nutrition Service, Midwest Region, 77 West Jackson Boulevard, Floor 20, Chicago, Illinois, 60604-3591, or call 312-353-6657. Compliance reviews. The state and federal governments are required to conduct reviews to determine compliance with civil rights regulations and requirements. Agencies are reviewed either every other year or every fourth year, depending on the program. Civil rights compliance is part of the review. Example review questions. Is the "End Justice for All" poster publicly displayed? Have all staff and volunteers received civil rights training annually? Is the USDA Non-Discrimination Statement included on all outreach materials? Does the agency have a limited English proficiency (LEP) plan? What accommodations does the agency make for those with physical disabilities? Resolution of noncompliance. MDE may review areas that require corrective actions to address findings during the review process. Agencies are required to stop inappropriate actions and institute appropriate procedures that meet federal regulations. Reasonable accommodation for people with disabilities. If the facility is not handicap accessible, parking, entrances, hallways, elevators, restrooms, etc., then assistance must be provided by the agency. The use of a proxy for food pickup, delivery out to participant vehicles, home delivery, or other alternative arrangements are to be made to meet the needs of participants with disabilities. Language assistance. Limited English proficiency (LEP). Individuals whose primary language is not English. Limited ability to read, speak, write, or understand English. Language assistance is required, but there is some flexibility on the methods used. Volunteers may be used as interpreters and must maintain participant confidentiality. Children should not be used as interpreters. Visit www.lep.gov for more information. Factors for limited English proficiency plan. Shortage of resources does not eliminate requirements to provide language services. Some level of language assistance is necessary and must cover the needs of known participants and prepare the agency to manage new language needs. Levels of language services can be proportional to demand from eligible local population, frequency of LEP persons' contact with the program, nature of program, activity, or service. Customer service. Treat everyone with dignity and respect and make people feel welcomed. Smile when appropriate. Be patient and polite. Make sure all participants receive equal treatment and service. Equal does not mean identical. For instance, one participant may receive corn and another may receive green beans. Accommodations for people with disabilities or language needs are not special favors. Find tools and techniques to improve customer service. Recognize that participants have varied needs and sometimes few resources. Develop good listening skills. Learn to put yourself in their place when necessary. Ask yourself, am I treating this person in the same manner I treat others? Conflict resolution. Remain calm. Listen and be empathetic. Use the information to determine what the issue is. When appropriate, apologize for the situation. Explain the situation, such as rules and expectations. Offer solutions and follow up. Get help, especially if threats or if violence is possible. Additional resources. Additional information on civil rights can be found at the following websites: www.michigan.gov/MDE-FDP Michigan's food distribution programs. The MDE also offers online training for agency staff and volunteers that includes an online quiz and a printable certificate of completion. The MDE website also offers online training for agency staff and volunteers that includes an online quiz and a printable certificate of completion. This can be found at www.michigan.gov/MDE-FDP in the Civil Rights section. The USDA Civil Rights Division website, www.fns.usda.gov/civil-rights. The Office of the Secretary for Civil Rights, www.ascr.usda.gov. Limited English Proficiency, www.lep.gov.